Hi, this is Ethan, and this is Connecticut, a state where I spent my formative years. And this is the Connecticut Warbler, a bird that is so common in Connecticut that it was made the state bird in 1817. And this is where I went to high school, South Windsor High, where I was class president, valedictorian, and captain of the football team. During one game, when I was quarterbacking my team down the field, and an enormous flock of Connecticut warblers landed on the.
Hi, this is Ingrid. Please ignore everything Ethan just said. The Connecticut warbler is incredibly difficult to find, especially in Connecticut. It is a solitary bird, never seen in flocks, and the state bird of Connecticut is actually the American robin. As for his high school resume, I think Ethan may have exaggerated a little bit. Welcome to the Week 38 recap of Ethan and Ingrid's 2024 Big Year. Warblers are small, colorful, bug-eating birds that typically fly and hop rapidly from branch to branch. In most of the United States, they are observed during spring and fall migration, as they move from their wintering grounds to breeding grounds and back. Birders cherish warbler season, and under the right conditions, a dozen different species of these colorful gems can be seen in a single morning. There is one particular warbler that is set apart from the rest, the evasive and somewhat mysterious Connecticut warbler. It prefers to walk around, not hop, in heavy, often impenetrable thickets. It only sings for a few weeks in late May and early June on its nesting sites in upstate Minnesota. That particular area is boggy and legendary for mosquitoes that can chase even the toughest adventurer out of the woods. The bird was named Connecticut Warbler because the first specimen of the species was collected in Connecticut. Despite the name, the bird is rarely seen in Connecticut or any other New England state. Ethan saw one briefly in September 2020. It popped up onto a bush before dropping back into a thicket, never to be seen again. All he got was this terrible, overexposed photo. Since then, Ethan and I have spent many fall hours looking in the bushes for a Connecticut warbler. We've read that they like pumpkin patches, and Ethan has asked a number of farmers for permission to peruse their fields, and has found exactly the same number of Connecticut warblers as Linus's great pumpkins. And it's not just us. There are a lot of very good birders that have never seen a Connecticut warbler. It's not really chaseable. When one hears about a Connecticut warbler sighting, you'd better be nearby and ready to go, because it will disappear into the brush in minutes. So on Sunday morning, Ethan and I heard about this nemesis bird being seen in Melrose, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. The same bird had been reported twice the day before. A Connecticut warbler that was staying in place? This might be our chance. We jumped in our car and covered the 2.5-hour trip at somewhat faster than legal speed limits allowed. L Pond sits in a beautiful suburban park. As we jumped out of our car in the parking lot, we ran into a gentleman who we had met last week when chasing a common ringed plover on the Massachusetts coast. He smiled at us and said, "A bunch of birders are watching the Connecticut warbler down that path." He was pointing at a trail not 50 yards away. Was it really going to be that easy? And it was. We watched this hyperactive little bird walk in and around the shoreline scrub. He would appear for 10 seconds and disappear for 30, then rematerialize 10 feet away before dematerializing just as quickly. This particular Connecticut warbler had no fear of the birders watching it. It didn't even seem to know we were there, or at least didn't know or care that we were there. At one point, the bird almost walked across my foot. Finally, after 45 minutes of this, we high-fived our fellow birders and headed home. Bird number 687 of the big year, one step closer to 700. This bird also closed the gap between Ethan and I on USA Life Birds to 1. The only bird he has that I don't is a common shelduck. a bird he saw in New Hampshire in August of 2017. I was working that day, and apparently Ethan called in sick.
Thanks for watching this weekly recap of Ethan and Ingrid's 2024 Big Year. Remember to visit our blog at bigyearbirding.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the subscribe button. And if you want more of this silliness, we also have a Facebook and Instagram page. Happy birding!